What's up guys, my name is Crescent, and one of the most cryptic aspects of selling on Amazon is their PPC system. Trying to analyze and optimize your PPC campaigns can feel like doing rocket science. And trust me, I'm right there with you. Amazon doesn't provide any sort of built-in tools to help us wade through the PPC data, and you can get cross-eyed if you stare at the reports for too long. But not to worry. What I've come to realize is one should never underestimate the ingenuity of mankind. And Sellics, the sponsor of today's video, has created an absolutely powerful and free tool that makes analyzing your PPC campaigns as simple as looking at some easy to understand and colorful charts. And before we get started, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe. Alright, and with that said, let's jump right in. So if we head on over to Sellics' website, we can access this free benchmarker tool by creating a free account. Now, what I want to point out is that there's actually two powerful ways that you can use this tool. We can compare our performance against all of our competitors by using the benchmarker. That's right, we can actually see if we're performing well or even underperforming compared to our competitors, and I'll go over that later on in this video. Or we can see how well we're performing month over month, which is what we can see here. It lets us quickly identify which products have the highest impact on our key performance indicators. And with the new impact driver analysis tool, which used to be a paid service that Sellics has just made absolutely free to everyone, you can quickly identify top gainers and losers in your product portfolio month over month. It will help you identify why your ad sales increased or decreased, which exact products caused a drop or increase in your ACoS or sales, as well as help you find out exactly where your cost per click increases were over the past month. And I'll be going over the impact driver analysis tool later on in this video. But first, if we take a look at this section here, what this report is telling us is, compared to the previous month across all of our PPC ad types, our ad sales have dropped by 6.7%, and the ACoS has increased by 19.1%. And we can see here that the best performing key performance indicator is the conversion rate, which has gone up by 4%. However, the worst performing key performance indicator is the ACoS, which has gone up by 19.1%. So you might be wondering what a key performance indicator is. Key performance indicators, or KPIs, are the critical indicators of progress towards an intended result. KPIs provide a focus for strategic and operational improvement, create an analytical basis for decision making, and help focus attention on what matters most. So in the case of optimizing PPC campaigns, profit margins, and sales, the key performance indicators can be found here in an easy to follow flowchart under the performance funnel. The Amazon pay-per-click advertising system works by showing your ad to potential buyers. These are the listings you can see in the search results that say sponsored. You can also find them on the product listing pages as well. And each time your ad is displayed, this is called an impression, which is where the performance funnel begins. You can see here that the number of impressions has gone down by 0.1%. And of course, the whole point of showing your ad to people is to get them to click on it. You can see here how many clicks there were this month and that it has gone down by 6.2% compared to last month. And the ratio between the number of impressions and clicks is called the click-through rate, or CTR, which we can see here. This month, the CTR is 0.21%, also down by 6.1% compared to last month. And of course, once someone clicks on your ad and visits your product listing page, the goal is for them to buy your product. You can see here the total number of orders that were placed this month, and unfortunately, it's also gone down by 2.4%. And the ratio between the number of clicks and the orders that were placed is called the conversion rate, which we can see here. And in fact, it's gone up a lot this month. It's increased by 8.9%. Pretty easy to follow, right? Now, to further break down the KPIs, we can see here that the average cost per click is $1.10, and that's gone up by a lot, 18.5% compared to last month. And that this month, the total amount spent on PPC is $100,000, up 11.1% from last month. We can also see the average order value here, $46.46, down by 4.4%. And the total value of all the sales this month is $373,849. Also down by 6.7%. And of course, the key performance indicator that we're all trying to ultimately improve, the ACoS. we can see the ACoS this month is 26.7%, up by 19.1% compared to last month. And in case you didn't know, ACoS stands for Advertising Cost of Sale, which means how much money did you spend on ads in order to make one sale? So in this case, if we divide the total ad spend by the total ad sales, we get 26.7%. Make sense? So hopefully, as you can see, this easy to follow flowchart makes identifying problem areas extremely easy. Something we can never do with Amazon's PPC reports alone. We can see that all of the KPIs in red need to be examined more closely. Ideally, we want to optimize each metric so that they're in the green. And to help us do that, I'm excited to show you the new Impact Driver Analysis tool. This used to be available to premium account users only, but because of how popular and useful it is, Sellics has just made this available to everyone for free. But before we get into that, I want to quickly go over how these key performance indicators can quickly help you identify problem areas. For example, we can see our total number of orders went down this month, even though the conversion rate went up. We need to ask ourselves why. Well, by looking at the funnel, in my opinion, the problem lies with the ad itself. Why? Well, because the conversion rate has gone up this month, meaning once a potential customer has clicked on your ad, they are more likely to buy than last month. So the problem isn't with the listing itself. So if we start at the top of the funnel, we can see the number of impressions went down slightly. Now, did we change how we are bidding on the keywords? Did we change the keywords we're bidding on? Did we lower our PPC budget? All of these factors can affect impressions. However, in this specific case, the impressions didn't really change all that much compared to the previous month, but the click-through rate went down dramatically. So I would focus on this area. So we need to ask ourselves, why aren't people clicking on the ad? Did we change the main image or the price? Did we get some bad reviews? Is it something that we changed that affected the CTR? Or do we need to look at making a change based on changes in the niche, current economic climate, or is it something our competitors have done? Okay, so that's just an example of how quickly and easily you can pinpoint problem areas or areas where you're doing well that you can replicate or improve upon. I'll actually go into more detail on this specific example on how to further diagnose the low CTR in the next part of this video with the Impact Driver tool. Now, before moving on, I want to point out that in order for this tool to work, it needs to have at least 2 months of your PPC data. That's because in order to see how your campaigns are currently performing, it needs to be able to compare them to your previous month's performance. And do you know what else I like to compare? How many likes I have. So smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really does help me out and I'd appreciate it. And now that you've done that, let's move on to the Impact Driver Analysis tool. Now, this is such a powerful tool because it lets you analyze the performance of each key performance indicator on a product by product basis. For example, if we click on impressions, we can see a graph of how each of the products is performing compared to the previous month. We can see that in the total across all of our products, the total number of impressions has gone down by 0.1%. And if we take a look at the graph, we can see that this ASIN, the impressions has gone up by 141%. This one, 96%. This one, 9.2%. And this one has gone down by 66%, and so on. So as you can see, we can quickly identify which products are performing best and which products we need to focus on optimizing. And in this case, we need to take a look at all of these ASINs, with this one being the worst and should be our primary focus. And we can see the total overall change here with the gray bar. We can also look at this data in 2 other formats. This format is called the Waterfall graph. We can also see the data in a table format here. And we can see that the worst performing product is this one at minus 66%. We can also see how each product is affecting our account as a whole by looking at the impact column. We can see that this beanbag chair has gone down by 66% compared to the previous month, but overall, it has an impact of 54%. What that means is that of the 0.1% loss compared to the previous month, this one ASIN contributes to 54% of that loss. So over half of the impressions we've lost in the past month is from this one product. How powerful is this? We can also see which products are performing best by clicking on the gainers button here. We can see that the doormat has gone up by 141%, and the stool has gone up by 96%. We can also examine the data in a tree map format. This is probably the easiest way to look at the overall performance of your products. Without me explaining this, you can probably already understand what's going on here. The area of this entire box represents the total change of the indicator. In this case, the total impressions. We can see the biggest contributor is this one with the largest box. Again, if we hover the mouse over the square, we can see that it's the beanbag chair at negative 54%. And the biggest performer is this one in green, the doormat at 65%. So as you can see, we can quickly identify which products we need to focus on to improve this key performance indicator. Similarly, if we click on any of these KPIs, for example, if we click on ad spend, we can see that the worst performing product is the doormat at minus 83%. We've spent 201% more on ads this month than the last. If we click on the table view, we can see that we spent $1,092 this month, and you can see that there's a correlation between the amount we spent and the impact. The more advertising dollars we spend on a single product, the more that product's impact on the total we've spent. In this case, 83%. So we can see that if we lower the amount we spend on advertising on this product alone each month, it would have the greatest impact. Similarly, we can see that we've spent less on these products this month as well. 50% less on the office chair, a whopping 84% less on the mattress, and 70% less on the side closet. And I want to point out here what's so powerful is that you might be wondering, well, if you spend less on ads, how did that impact sales? Did the product sell less? That would seem to make sense, right? Since you're advertising less. That would be an important metric to look at, wouldn't it? Well, the impact driver tool makes this super easy to examine. If we take a look at the impressions, we can see that the office chair dropped by 34% in impressions and the bed mattress by 59%. And at the same time, if we take a look at the clicks, we can see that the office chair went down by 63%, and the bed mattress by 85%, and the side closet by 73%. And additionally, if we look at the number of orders, the office chair sales fell by 50%, the mattress by 86%, and the side closet by 68%. So by analyzing that data, we can conclude that there is a direct correlation between ad spend and sales. So reducing the ad spend on these products may not be a wise choice. We need to consider different options in an attempt to increase clicks and orders. Now, on the example we went over earlier in the video concerning the drop in CTR, again, let me show you how simple the impact driver tool makes analyzing this. We can see that the overall CTR dropped by 6.1% compared to the previous month. We need to ask ourselves which factors contribute to the click-through rate. Well, first of all, in order for someone to click on your ads, the ad needs to be shown to them. And in order for the ad to be shown, you need to be bidding on keywords and have an associated PPC budget to spend. So again, if we start from the top, we already went over the fact that we spent 11.1% more on ads this month. So if we spent more on ads this month, did that affect how many impressions we got? If we take a look at our impressions, again, it didn't really go up a lot this month. So if we had the same number of impressions this month, why did the CTR go down? The impact driver can help us focus on the highest contributing products to the drop. If we click on CTR, we can see that the office chair had the highest impact to our drop in CTR at 30%, with the stool and side closet pretty much tied for the second highest contributor at 17% and 16% respectively. So the impact driver tool immediately shows us that we need to focus our attention on optimizing these three listings. And the primary metrics that affect CTR would be the main photo, reviews, price, and the title. You need to work on optimizing those. Or if you did change them, perhaps it wasn't the right change to make compared to the previous month. Pretty cool, right? So with that said, you can also access the different key performance indicators by clicking on this button here. You can then choose from this list of key performance indicators. I hope you can see the huge value and time savings in using the impact driver analysis tool. It allows you to see exactly where your advertising dollars are being spent, how they're being spent, and what impact it has on your sales in comparison to the previous month, and therefore gives you a clear direction on what actions to take to fix or improve your PPC campaigns. And again, this tool is absolutely free. You can get access to it by clicking my link, go.crescentko.com/Sellics. You can also find more information in the video description below. Now, Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Sellics also has a benchmarker tool. This tool allows you to compare the performance of your products and PPC campaigns against your direct competitors, something you could never do in the past. Just click the toggle over to benchmarks, and you can see exactly how well your products are performing within their respective niches against your direct competitors. For example, right at the top here, you can see your current score compared to your competitors. In this case, we have a score of silver, which means we are performing within the top 50% of our competitors. If we scroll down, we can see the office chair has an ACoS in the yellow at 23.6%, which means it's performing in the middle 20% compared to your competitors, which the top 40% of your competitors have an ACoS of 20 to 39%, and the lower 20% have an ACoS between 9 and 15%. It also has a conversion rate of 8% that is performing in the top 40% of your competitors between 7 and 11%, and so on. You can also see how your overall campaign performance is doing compared to your competitors, such as the campaign structure versus the benchmark, your ad spend structure versus the benchmark, and the key performance indicators of your sponsored products versus the benchmark. Now, if you want to learn more about the benchmarker tool and how to use it, I have a separate video that goes into detail on this, which I'll leave a link to in the video description below. Again, these tools are absolutely free, and I want to thank Sellics for providing us with such a powerful tool and for sponsoring this video. Remember, you can get access to Benchmarker and the Impact Driver Analysis tool by using my link go.crescentko.com/Sellics. Again, click my link go.crescentko.com/Sellics now to get started. If you found value in this video, make sure to smash that like button and consider subscribing. Also, if you have any comments or questions, leave them below. I answer every single one. You can also find more info on this video, including all of my contact details, in the video description. All right, thanks for watching.